Biafra separatist militants kills joint border patrol commander in Bakassi Peninsula. This one is a recorded victory over the struggle to occupy the Biafran territory being given to the Cameroonians by the so-called United Nations and Olusegun Obasanjo from the Nigerian government, because they know that place belongs to the Biafrans. That's why you see very fast for them to cede that Biafran territory, oil-rich nation, or rather oil-rich area, to the Cameroonian government, because without no fight, you just they talk. The day they rule that case, if I can tell you, from the discoveries and the search I did, no Nigeria no have even a legal representative in that meeting. And they say that place without no fight in Nigeria, and I know that love money, that love oil, that love crude oil, we just take their part of their land and give to Cameroonian, because they know that that area belongs to Biafra. And all these people know that Biafra must surely come. Obasanjo, they know all these things. So forget about whatever they're telling you today, whatever they are struggling to keep Biafrans together, whatever the killings, they know that Biafra and Nigeria can never stay. They know the truth. Even the Northerners know. The only thing they are waiting is for them to just hear now that the oil in the Biafra land, Niger Delta, Imo State, Anambra State, Abia State have dried up. You will see them now. They will kick off and say, okay, let's divide the country. When these people never know or have an idea that there's what they call crude oil in our land, they are the one that said they are not ready to be amalgamated together. In fact, they said Araba. That means let everybody go their separate way, that they are not ready. Not until the UK tell them the secret and give the minority, which they are, power to control over, to have power control over other majority regions. And that is what is killing the so-called zoo today. Below just only 1 year, 6 months, or 1 day, some months, maybe 15 months or 16 months or 17 months down the line, that the Northerners have held power for a very long time. Do you know that they are currently now that they are being marginalized? Just 1 year. For you to know the kind of animals that we are dealing with as a human beings. Just 1 year down the line, some months, because Tinubu is not doing their bidding. But when they are controlling good Lord Jonathan left, right, and center, they never complain about marginalization. Buhari 8 years, they never complain about marginalization, even not minding the hardship then. But Tinubu just hold power for a year and some months now. They are crying that they have been marginalized and nothing is happening on their own side. Insecurity, they brought it upon themselves. When good Lord Jonathan was about to wipe out the insecurity in that area, what did they do? They said that now it is a fight between Christians and Muslims, that Jonathan is killing their people. They even write messages to the people who gave them power, which is the UK and other Western allies, and they stopped selling weapons to Jonathan. That Jonathan must remove Iyejika, that Iyejika is killing their innocent people. Today, the same people have come back now and begin to cry that insecurity is ravaging, that they can't even go to their farm again. Have you seen it? So for them to lease this place to Cameroon, my dear, they know that Biafra is real, and Biafra can never be in Nigeria, not even for a second. They are just fighting a just cause. In fact, their fighting is dead on arrival. These are the another recorded Obonga victory on that side. Terrorists take over Nigeria's largest military training camp in Niger State. This one is Niger State House of Assembly raised its alarm. But do you know that the military spokesperson will be Buba? It was Buba come out and said nothing of such happened. These are the propagandas they use to rule their people. These are the propagandas they use to confuse the so-called Nigerians and the international communities. But when Simon Ekpa did the propaganda, people will come out and say, this one is lie, this one is... My brother, without propaganda, I can tell you, I have said this before and I have to repeat myself, without propaganda, no any good government will stand. As long as African continent is concerned. I don't know about the Westerners. Propaganda is what you use to make sure you get to where you are going. Propaganda in terms of struggle is very, very necessary. But when you did it, some people will come and say, he's a liar, this, that, and the other. When I said my own, they say, why do you get this news? Where is the information? My brother, propaganda is a 50-50 something. You have the truth 50, and the other 50, it look like truth, but look like lies. That is what they call propaganda. Propaganda don't necessarily mean you are lying to the general public. Yes, the government of Niger State don't come out and said, terrorists don't take over their training camp. Then the military spokesperson, Edward Buba, come and say nothing of such happened. That is the propaganda. He said different, by another guy will come and say another different propaganda. That is how the government rule. According to the information, Lebanon crisis, Nigerians remain stranded as federal government evacuation plan hits roadblock. Sorry, my people. They are waiting for Alan Onyema to go and evacuate these people for free of charge. The same Alan Onyema who have been doing this thing, Nigeria have never been fair to this guy. It is right time Alan Onyema come back to Biafra and deal with the Biafran that dealing with animals who don't even value his contribution to make sure that that country is remain top. Look at Lebanon crisis. For them to go evacuate, they cannot. But they are buying big private jet that is enough even to go and carry these people back to Nigeria. They are waiting for a free flight from Alan Onyema. Ndara. Economic policies will stand by our advice to Tinubu. IMF maintains stand despite backlash from Nigerians. You see, now IMF they rule, IMF and World Bank, now them they rule Zojuria. Now them they rule Zojuria. Tinubu is just a caretaker. I have said this in earlier on when Tinubu assumed office, but nobody wants to believe me. Anyway, please like, share, comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel for more interesting videos coming your way. Suspected Black Marine, a dreaded Biafra separatist militant group, has killed a very top commander of the Joint Border Patrol. It was gathered that the separatist militants stormed the maritime border after being thwarted days ago by mostly Nigerian Navy. They launched attack on the Cameroonian-controlled axis, killing 5 Cameroonian forces, including a top commander, in an attempt to bomb oil installations, but they were repelled by the Nigerian forces. See, Nigerian forces and Cameroonian forces are fighting just small Biafra. So you to know how strong we are. Terrorists have taken over Nigeria's largest training camp in Niger State. Niger State House of Assembly has raised the alarm over the takeover and occupation of one of the biggest military training camps in Nigeria by terrorists, saying the government have also chased away about 23 farming communities within the area. The training camp is located at the Nagwamase military cantonment in Katangora, headquarters of the Katangora local government area of the state. The Nagwamase military cantonment in Katangora holds the largest military training camp in Nigeria, where personnel of the Nigerian Army Artillery Corps undergo training. But according to the state lawmakers, the facility has been taken over by terrorists. The assembly therefore urged the state government to liaise with the military authorities to flush out the terrorists from the training camp, which also plays host to about 23 communities in the area. In a motion of urgent public importance brought by the member representing Katangora 2 State Constituency, Abdullahi Issa, during plenary on Wednesday, the military camp, which is occupied by large pieces of land extending from Katangora local government to part of Marega local government, is now being occupied by terrorist gunmen. According to him, this military camp is now known to have been taken over by terrorists who are said to have established at least 8 different camps in the area. The presence of the terrorists on this training camp, which now serves as their haven, has posed a serious security challenge to communities within the camp, both in Katangora and Marega local government areas. 8 camps. He pointed out that in the last month, communities within the training camp have come under intense attacks from the terrorists who operate with impunity, adding that some members of the communities that were abducted during the recent operation were still being held by the government. After much deliberation, the assembly urged the state government to, as a matter of urgency, liaise with the military authority to intensify efforts towards flushing out the terrorists from the training camp, adding that this will allow the host communities to return to their homes. No, Nigeria is once you are out of your ancestral home, you are out. you will end up your life in IDP. Do you know some people have been in the IDPs, born there, they grew up, they finished their life, and they are still in the IDPs? It is in Nigeria. While foreigners are busy occupying their own ancestral lands, and they say nothing bad is there. Islamization and federalization agenda is in place. The assembly also urged the government to give the military the necessary support towards securing the training camp and restoring peace in the area. You can never see this news in the light of the day. You can never see anybody that is going to talk about this. Lebanese crisis. A report has indicated that the efforts to evacuate Nigerians from Lebanon by the Fulani government have been stalled. Despite the initial announcement of an evacuation plan, Nigeria in the crisis-ridden country are currently stranded. The evacuation efforts were initiated in response to escalating tensions in the Middle East after Iran's missiles attack on Israel on October 1st of 2024. However, a report by Punch states that low registration numbers and reluctance among Nigerians in Lebanon complicated the process because they don't want to come back home. The evacuation efforts were initiated in response to escalating tensions in the Middle East after Iran's missile attack on Israel, which happens on October 1st. The current crisis began when Iran launched a barrage of 180 ballistic missiles towards Israel in retaliation for the assassination of Iran-backed militant leaders. The missile attack, which targeted key sites in Israel, sent Israelis crumbling to shelters, raising concerns of a wider regional conflict. Although the Israeli Defense Forces managed to intercept many of the missiles, the incident heightened instability in the region, including Lebanon, which borders Israel and has its internal security challenges. In response to the situation, the Fulani government activated its emergency evacuation protocols, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs coordinating efforts alongside the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, the Department of State Service, and other key agencies. These agencies work closely with the Nigerian mission in Lebanon to ensure that citizens who wish to be evacuated were safely brought back home. Giving updates on whether the federal government will evacuate the Nigerians in Lebanon despite the reduced tension in the country, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Abu Obe, simply stated that the situation is under observation. Economic policies, they say we stand gidigbam with our advice to Tinubu, say make Nigerians they die of hunger. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has treated its support for the removal of petrol subsidy and the floating of the exchange rate by the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led government. Okute News understand that the Bretton Woods institution have come under heavy backlash by the Nigerians for advising Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the present economic policies, especially the removal of subsidy from PMS as well as the floating of the Naira, which have plunged the country into inflationary pressures. The IMF's African Region Director Abebe Selassie at a briefing on the sidelines of the IMF and World Bank annual meetings, however, stated that the organization did not advise the Bola Ahmed Tinubu to remove fuel subsidy, adding that it was Tinubu's decision. However, an IMF spokesperson who spoke to Premium Times in response to his inquiry on Wednesday said the institute stands by its advice to the Tinubu's government. You see how they are complicating issues. Today they will come and tell you they remove, tomorrow they come and tell you they never tell him. You see the complicating issues. They are the one that is ruling Nigeria. We stand by our advice, though it is important to underscore that individual pieces of that advice cannot be viewed in isolation. Our advice is a comprehensive policy package where all elements are linked to each other. That package seeks to ensure macroeconomic stability and rise living standards in a sustainable fashion. They say it will take 15 years. Will Tinubu be alive 15 years? Even that man that said that thing, will that man will still be alive in the next 15 years? The answer is zero. Importantly, our advice on petrol subsidies and the exchange rate is set in a larger comprehensive policy mix that also includes scaling up social transfers to provide relief to Nigerians who are already suffering from a cost of living crisis or who are impacted by policy reforms. The spokesperson was quoted as saying. Also, the spokesperson referenced the IMF 2024 report on Nigeria published in May, in which the global institution executive directors welcomed the bold reforms implemented by the new administration and commended the authorities' focus on revenue mobilization, governance, social safety nets, and upgrading policy frameworks in the face of Nigeria's significant economic and social challenges. So, my people, and I don't hear everything the way it is. Propaganda wins the game. Either you like it or you leave it. But anyway, now here we go take back break. We'll come back again with another blockbuster. Don't forget, my name is Siriman Amandia Neze. Always reporting from the platform of Okute Daily Talk 2, where we always speak to you the undiluted truth. Kemesiano.